because you have been educated very much in terms of your own health and also medical science by a very professional doctor that we have on our team, Dr. Prabhu. He's no stranger to many of you, I believe. And I believe that many of you are still getting your friends to come in onto Zoom. So we'll take some time to introduce him because he has been the anchor for this weekly Saturday morning 10 a.m. show for the last 39 weeks. And this is the 40th week. So thank you very much to our doctor who has been very patiently been contributing his knowledge, his expertise, and also his advice on getting a better health, a better body, especially through Terahertz water. Dr. Bravo has been known as an ENT doctor, very professionally anchored in many regional and international medical groups and associations as their board and also their members, and has been contributing very well to this industry and the company for the last 1 year. So before we bring him on, right, as usual, just to make sure that we are on the right page, please refrain from doing the following. Number one, recording for your own use, right? There's a proper and official recording that we have done on Facebook and YouTube, which will be sent to you after the session is finished. And please make sure you silence your mic so that we have a very proper session that can be addressed by Dr. Bravo himself. And in this 1 hour of short sharing, we will also be taking questions, but we will not be allowing you to turn on your mic. So please put your questions in the chat group and we will address that to Doctor if he has time for the Q&A session. If not, it will be carried forward to the next week where he will, rather the host will do his or her best to have your questions answered as soon as possible. Next, refrain from just taking snippets of the recordings that we have to the social media. All right, if you want to share in full, because we do not want information to be misrepresented in any social media because of his doctor license and also his expertise. All right, so if anything is taken out of context, he may get into serious trouble with the medical boards. So we strongly encourage you to share only the actual and the full video that is given to you through the Facebook links or the YouTube links, right? As a respect for his efforts and also for the time that he has been giving to all of us on a weekly basis, continuously, religiously, and persistently for the last 40 weeks, right? So this is Dr. Bravo. As we all know, he's an ENT expert, and he has also been studying the human bio vibes for the last 10 years. And this is something that is very much intuitive and exploitative in the medical science these days, because we're all talking about energy down all the way down to a cellular level. So for all these years that this medical, we call it the medical expertise or the medical attention is on the energy level of our cells, is now taking the whole medical and health world into a different level where we need to now understand things that we usually do not learn in probably our secondary school or even in our degree. So these are some of the latest findings, and we are now looking at how we can revert our cells to their original energy level where they're able to help us to recover all these illnesses. And even the most recent COVID-19, all right, we have known of people that have been using energy to heal themselves, right, besides the medication that they have been given. So these are some of the very, very new insights into medical science. And we are very privileged to have Dr. Bravo, who is an expert in that field with his continuous study for the last more than 10 years. So today's topic is very unique, all right? He's not only talking about the general health, general medication. Today's topic is on a parable of water. What is a parable? A parable is a story which is used to signify or used to represent certain characteristics of a main topic. All right, for example, Cinderella can be a fairy tale. It can also be a parable. So today, Doctor is going to tell us a parable on the 40th session of his sharing. And in this next 1 hour, I strongly encourage you to participate fully, giving you him all your best attention, at the same time inviting more friends to listen to this parable of how water can actually change your life. So without further ado, may we now invite Dr. Prabhu to give his parable of water episode. All right, Dr. Prabhu, please. Hi, doctor. I think you need to turn on your mic. Oh, by the way, is he here? Not seeing him. All right, doctor. Dr. Prabhu. Okay. Looks like
we can see Dr. Prabhu online.
Okay, he may have some technical issues. All right, so he's still not here yet, but don't worry. All right, I think he has been very, very patient and very religiously punctual. All right, so today there must be something on, either his internet is off, he has some medical issues, or he has an emergency to attend to. And as we know, all right, he's a very busy man, and there are many times that he finishes his sharing and he has to go off because he has patients waiting for him. And being a specialist in his own way, he has been attending to many patients, and also a user of Terahertz water. He has been using the water to help to treat and also help to many of them, many of his patients, to recover their health through energy healing. So as we know, right, if you have been in this episodes for the last at least 10, 20, or even following him from episode 1, you'll realize that he's not only a medical doctor, but he's also like a health advisor. He gives a lot of advices to us every single week. Especially there are some episodes where he talk about our mindset, the way we think that affects our health. And I think these are all very important information that we can use to upgrade ourselves in our life, to upgrade ourselves, and also not only in our families, but also in the surrounding and environment that we are in. So for the last 39 weeks, I'm very sure that all of us have benefited greatly. And you have been one of those that have been benefiting from his sharing. All right, can you just put a 9 in the chat group so we know that you're one of those faithful followers and one of those beneficiaries of his advice and his sharing. All right, so just put a 9 in the chat so we know that you're one of those very loyal followers of him. And I've met many doctors in my career as a coach and as a businessman, and I've seldom seen someone who is such a big-hearted man like him, willing to share consistently. It's like his radio talk show, you know, right? It's not something that's very popular here in Asia, but you know that in UK, in US, a lot of professionals have their own talk show, has their own, what you call that, podcast, right? I'm not sure how many of you know about podcasts. So, well, I'll be talking to him probably sometime in the later half of this year, or rather the last quarter of this year. We may start a podcast for him, all right? First putting all his sharings that I've been doing for the last 39 weeks, including this week, 40 weeks, into a podcast series so that he can get branded, right? And I see him already online with us. So without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Prabhu on his episode number 40, Parable of Water. Dr. Prabhu, please. All right, doctor. Okay, seems to have a little bit of technical issues today, but I think, all right, there is his screen, there is his slides. All right, Dr. Prabhu, over to you, and thank you for being with us once again.
Yeah, my humble apology. It got delayed because suddenly my computer had some issues, so I just sorted it out. Thank you very much. So a fantastic morning to every one of you, and very happy to share this 40th episode. 40 episodes, 40 weeks of this beautiful journey where I am meeting every one of you. And the most beautiful situation is, we just celebrated last week the first anniversary of our Terahertz company in Malaysia, and it's already 1 week. Now, this is what is all our life all about. We all are in the process of movement. So every moment is just moving in the forward direction, and then we also need to move forward And as we are moving forward, we need to pick up a lot of information and knowledge as we walk along. This is what does every human being have to do it, whether they like it or not. But sooner the better, if you understand that this is what is all our life is basically learning and sharing and caring. This is a very simplest. And today it's going to be a very interesting topic wherein the parable of water. And this topic, something I felt that we are all dealing with Terahertz resonated water. So I thought I need to go a little more detail. And by divine grace, I get this assistance from the universe wherein I pick up all the information what is necessary for sharing with you, and giving that the initial starting wherein we get back to our the real parable of water. What exactly is this? When we look at our human path and this universe as such, we all know that we all are surrounded by water. Almost 3/4 of our planet Earth is surrounded by water. Now, why is that? Basically, if you look at even a small baby formed in the uterus, wherein in the womb, it is also surrounded by water. And I think that's basically the cushioning effect of the water, which is so beautiful that it protects you from all the unwarranted situation from the external environment. And as we all know that as our planet Earth is revolving around at a certain speed, and that's how this water is prevented from getting inside the land. And the day our Earth starts moving slow, I think the water will get inside. And millions of years ago, and there were a lot of during the dinosaur situation where a lot of situation changed. There are a lot of land which is already inside the sea down. But you and I, as a human being today, we are all down here, planet Earth, with all the digital technologies and the advancement in our day-to-day life. We are enjoying a fantastic electronic and digital growth on one side, but on the other side, we are losing our human values, our human basic nature, which we have been created. We are losing it. I think we need to rekindle all this and then start moving forward. And I think this today's session of the parable of water will give us some insight as to what is that information we can pick up from this water, what it is trying to tell us. Now, when you look at this picture here, the ocean is there. Now, ocean is a bigger part of the water system and surrounding the earth, and sea is a smaller one. And sea invariably will be attached to the land. It will be touching the land most of the time. And in that way, when you look at the ocean and the sea, ocean is much bigger. And as you all know that how many oceans are there? And I think every one of you know there are 7 oceans, starting from our Pacific to the Atlantic. So we do have 7 different oceans. But at the same time, when you look at, we do have on the land also, we do have 7 continents. Something which is related to the number 7, means nature. I always believe that 7 always is related with nature. And there are 7 continents we have. And when you look at the 7 continents, it's human beings. We are all living on this planet Earth. Other than the human beings, there are millions of other creatures, right, from insects to worms to fishes to 4-legged animals. But as a human being, what's happening? What is that relation with the 7? When you look at that, we do have the 7 chakra system, the 7 layers of aura, the 7 organ system. And we do have the most beautiful part of our immune system. Not many of us know that our immune system has got 7 different layers of protection, right from the skin and the mucous membrane to the cell level of macrophages and the natural killer cells, wherein there are 7 different steps. Now tell me, in our day-to-day life, we all are being protected from various, I would say, organisms, right, from bacteria to viruses to fungus to mold, spores, you name it, it's there. But how many? It's all in thousands. We are bombarded with these organisms every day in and out from the external spores, as well as we do have our own organisms inside our body also is there in it's all in, you know, thousands and thousands inside our body. Now what is happening now, these guys are all keeping quiet for the only reason that our immune system, which is the 7 layers, if it is perfectly in order, you're protected. Now, be it COVID virus or be it any, including cancer cells to any other thing, if this 7 layers of the system is perfectly working condition, you are 100% guaranteed you will never get infection in your body. You will never get sick in your life. All this is all told, and it is a fact of life. But we human beings, once in a lifetime, we will fall sick. You know, we do go through a situation where we face a little bit of uneasy, unpleasant situation. But today, with COVID in the past 1.5 years, it is really, really, really teaching us a lot of lessons, which if we don't understand and if we do not pick up the information or the message, the situation, it's a situation which is giving it to you, you will never learn any lessons in your life. If you're ready to learn the lesson, what you need to do is sit back and understand what's happening. What's happening is, of course, there's a lot of situations where more than the virus, we as human beings have been restricted in our day-to-day movements. Our businesses have been restricted. There are so many things which we are like tied up with our hands, and then we are told, come on, open your hands and then start doing this. It's not possible. When you tie your hands, how are you going to do things? It's the same way. We all are tied up with situations, which is difficult. But the most beautiful part of our life is if we can sow the seed of goodness, sow the seed of good karmas, sow the seed of good things in our life from today. Forget about what you did until yesterday. From today, I think we should be able to at least breathe a beautiful air of freshness in the future. So what you're looking for tomorrow has to be done today. So in that way, with this the 7 number, right from the ocean to the layers to our immune system, it's so beautiful. How come all this is all in the sevens? Now, the creator or the person who created this universe would have planned everything. Something must have happened. But it's so beautiful. Our job is to pick it up. When you start going inside and asking, now, of course, like any other human being, I also can ask, why 7? It can be 8. Now, why 7 chakras? It can be 8 chakras. All this will be there in our own mind where it can start questioning. But there are certain things I would request every one of you is, there are certain situations, it's just that's it. We don't need to go into too much details and then start kindling it and finding out that you can find out. But at the end of the day, if you can get some positive information by digging that particular situation or the information, it's good for you. But most of the time we'll be wasting our time because it's already there. And then you want, unless you are a person, you want to sacrifice your whole life doing some research and giving it to the universe, it's a different ball game. Now, saying that the ocean, it's a bigger form of the sea. Now, what happened? The same water, it's the water. No, now we get back to the water. Now, the water, when it rises in the ocean or in the sea, what it is called? It is called a wave. The name changes. The same water, it becomes a wave. Now, just like water, we need to raise above our comfort zone to achieve some things in life. Now, this is a very beautiful lesson it is teaching us. You have to raise. If you don't raise, nothing will happen. You will be probably just like a calm water. You can move forward. Nothing will be. Life will be the same monotonous. But we all like some challenges. But I wouldn't know how many of you all like challenges in life, because challenge is something makes you better. Now, challenge is a situation which can turn a situation into a positive or a negative situation. Now, if it becomes positive, it is favorable for you. But sometimes it does become unfavorable to you. Like what? Maybe you invested 100 ringgits in a particular, probably a company wherein they are talking about giving you some extra funds or interest. You get 200 ringgits. Fantastic, right? You're very happy about it. But the same company, you invest 100 ringgits and then they vanish away from the situation. Now, what happens? Your 100 ringgits is lost. But at the end of the day, what did you learn? What did you do? Is that 100 ringgits you created on this planet Earth? No, isn't it? It's a paper which has been there and then there is a value for it. But at the end of the day, you didn't create it, isn't it? So many times we should understand that we are not the creators of many situations on this planet Earth. Become an observer in your very beautiful. Life is basically observing, picking up the information, and start moving forward. Now, what happens here? Once the wave rises, it falls back and then rises multiple times until it lashes on the shore. So in the same way, we human beings also in our whole life of journey wherein need to rise again and again until our last breath. Now, what is that? We raise and come down, we raise and come down. Now, what's happening is we all gain an experience in life. So the water, what it teaches us is as you raise and fall, as you raise and fall, you pick up some information. When you raise up, of course, you are taken into a situation where probably you got a promotion and then you get a higher post. Now, what happens? Can you be sticking on to the higher post all the time? Yeah, like the joke, who is the prime minister of Malaysia? So someone will be asking, is it yesterday, today, or tomorrow? Something like that. Things go on changing. Your positions will be changing. So in that way, our positions as it changes, what did you learn from that situation? You cannot hold on to that situation because it won't be yours. What is yours today will not be yours. Someone else will be having it. So this is the essence of life. This is what we all need to understand, that there is a change happening all the time. Now the same water, when it vaporizes, what happens? It vaporizes into a different form and becomes a cloud in the sky. Now, when this cloud, it is a condensed form, it is there. You can see the clouds there up. But will it be the clouds all the time? No, the clouds changes over to rain. After that, what happens? Begins to come back as rain. Now, the same water which was in the form of water, it changed its structure or it changed its form into a cloud. And then now the cloud also changed itself. It's all the water only, it changes and comes back as rain. Now, the same water, now it's called rain. The name difference, right? The forms are different. So in the same way as human beings, we are as a human beings, but the purpose of our life on this planet Earth can be different in different situations. So what's happening is there are sometimes you will be learning wherein you pick up information, but many times we need to understand that we human beings are here to give. That means we are supposed to nourish other human beings with what we get. So for that, you 100% have to pick up the information so that you can give. When you yourself are in a learning curve, of course, you need to be silent to learn. But many times we feel we can see people when they are in the learning stage itself, they want to do something to other people in the form of teaching. Now, how can you teach another person when you yourself are still in the process of learning? So this is a very important lesson in our life is we all need to learn first, acquire the required knowledge, and of course, you should be in a positive position to share that information to your fellow human beings. So in many situations, just like the cloud, the condensed cloud, our mind is also condensed with a lot of issues, a lot of situations. Why go very far? It's our COVID situation. Many of our fellow human beings would be in a situation where they have no income, they have lost their jobs, they have lost their siblings, loved ones. It is a very, very, very difficult situation people are going through. So the mind is fully condensed. And of course, there can be a lot of people out there who are, when they burst open, just like the clouds, when it burst open and come down, it comes as rain. So we also as human beings, when we are clouded with too much of issues which is been clogged in our mind, we start automatically the tears starts flowing in. That's why I always would say a cloudy mind invariably will have tears coming out in the eyes. So you need to have a very clear mind in our path of life, so that you know what to do, where to do, and an emotional balance in our day-to-day life also plays a very, very important role, so that you know when to cry, when to laugh, and when to balance your emotions. Because this is a very, very important aspect of every human being, is that our emotional coefficient or the emotional balance is very, very important. Now, out there, if you look at every day in and out, you are listening to this information wherein they are talking about the cases are rising. But how many people are dying? Not many. Yes, people are dying. Of course, it is. Maybe some close friend of yours, some relatives. Of course, someone yesterday they were talking to you, today they are no more. It is a part and parcel of your life. You have no choice. Even you will become a memory in another person's life one day. If not today, tomorrow. But 100% it will happen. So what's happening is the same water changes its form right from the seawater, then finally it becomes the rain. Now, this rainwater, again, what happens? It automatically forms into a river. Now, this is where the change, the name of the same water, now it's called river. Now, this river, if you see, our human birth knows at the mountain as a small river, then it comes down, becomes a huge river with other tributaries joining together. But at the end of the day, where does this river go? The river, of course, goes back to the sea. It has to join the sea. Now, sea is the place where the water has been there all the time. Now, from there only it came in and changed. Now, just like the river, our life journey also goes through different phases of trials and tribulation. Now, as we are walking in our journey of life, the trials and tribulation, whether you like it or not, you will have to go through it. Now, as you're talking about the trials and tribulations, when we are walking through, it's only the wisdom and the knowledge which you have picked it up in the past will be useful in the present. Now, sometimes in the present, it will be a new experience. It will be a totally a new experience. But are you ready to pick up that information and experience that information of new, whatever the new the universe is giving you or the situation is giving you? We as human beings, whether we like it or not, we will go through it. Now, in my 56 years of my journey, of course, I never faced a situation like COVID before. Never I faced. But today we are facing it. It's almost 1.5 years we are facing. So like that, there are a lot of other people who are in the same situation where they wouldn't have faced it, but they are facing it. Losing jobs. I have lost my job and I have gone through some difficult times. It is a part and parcel of life. But when I look back and see, what did I learn? I learned one thing: nothing is yours, nothing is permanent, everything changes. So when we understand that nothing is permanent, then why are we holding on to it and saying it's mine? Nothing is mine, including our body. This body itself is not yours. As it's been told that we rise from the ash and go back to the ash. So in that way, what is happening is the river starts from the mountains. Once the rain comes down, it forms a river. Then finally, it reaches the sea and merges as a sea or the ocean. It merges into it. Now, in the same way, in our individual belief system, we all believe that once we die, something called death is there. Once we finish that, we go back to the source or to the creator. We go back to the lotus feet of God. This is what has been told. Truly speaking, I do not know where do we go, but what I know is this life down here is a truth. And today I'm on this beautiful platform called the Terahertz platform, which George has created for all of us, and with beautiful souls from Jackie to Brian, and there are other beautiful souls down here. We are all gathered here. Now, this is the truth. It is there. Now, this also will become a memory for us. So every Saturday is becoming a memory for every one of us, because it moves away and then we go to the next stage. So like that, as we are going on to every new stages. Now, this is the most beautiful challenges we all face is, what's the new thing? What's that new? What do you want to learn? When you start looking at what you want to learn, just like water, you will be starting to change the form, enjoy that form for that moment and move forward. Now, we are a drop in the ocean. Now just close your eyes and then see who are you? When you ask, of course, you will tell I'm so and so with your degrees, with your whatever positions. You can say even I'm the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Yeah, so what? Tomorrow, where are you? You will be away from that position where you were talking about it. So we are only a tiny speck of perishable being. We are perishable. That means one day we will leave this planet Earth. Our body will putrefy, and it will start smelling. All this will happen. It is there. This is the kind of body we have. But the same body, what can be done is you can change it into a better, like for example, the most beautiful example right now it's running in my mind is, so have you read of the book called The Autobiography of Yogi? So it's the Swami Yogananda Paramahamsa. If you can read that mortal body, his body was kept for the visualization of the people for 21 days. And in the 21 days, what exactly happened was his body was smelling of rose. Now, how come 21 days the body never putrefied and smelling of rose? What exactly happened? That means there is something which this particular beautiful soul could achieve when as living as a human being. So what's happening is, what kind of thoughts are you putting in every moment of life? Are you putting a lot of love vibration into it, or are you putting a lot of positive vibration filled with love, filled with unconditional love, filled with a lot of giving in nature? What happens? Your body will automatically transform, because every cell. Now, for this, you need a water. You have to have a water. If you don't have water, you will not be able to put the memory. And they already have done a lot of research in Germany, and even in Japan. Our Dr. Imota has done. I was watching another video yesterday from Germany, and this guy also has done a lot of research on water. And the way I think probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks, I will be sharing that beautiful information what this person from Germany has done, and then so beautiful. It's all about water. Now, when you look at who are you, from where did you arrive? Of course, we all came from that single sperm and an ovum fertilized, and today we are a huge body with a huge whatever we are. But at the end of the day, when you look at, we are such a small one coming out. And of course, it was from the water that everything starting. So our beginning also begins from water. And now, as we go on with our rain now, let's go and see what's happening to the rain. Rain nourishes the plants and the trees as it falls on it. Now, how does it do that? As you all know that most of the time, rainwater is the purest water. What science has taught me when I was a student. I was told rainwater is true, but pure, it's because totally polluted in the cities, so definitely it's not a clean water. Now, the beauty of this particular rainwater is that as it's coming down from the clouds, there is we are talking about the ozone layer down there up. It is picking up the oxygen extra molecule, and this is what is called the Schumann's layer, wherein the vibration is around 7.83 is the Schumann's energy fields. So when it comes through that energy fields, what's happening is the oxygen molecule extra is taken up, and it becomes oxygen. O2 becomes O3. Now, when this O3 comes down, your smell of ozone is so nice. We all would love the rain smell. Now, what's the beauty is, when this ozonated water coming and falling on the plants, you would see that invariably after the rain, the small new beautiful shoots are coming out. A small beautiful tree starts growing up. The tree looks so clean, after the rain. It looks very clean and fresh. Now, what is that happening when a human being goes and drenches in rain? Why should he fall sick? It should be the other way, right? We should grow, isn't it? That means our cells should be rejuvenated. We should feel fresh, isn't it? Now, you would have heard commonly people telling, oh, yeah, doctor, I went and drenched in rain. I started getting flu. I'm having fever. I feel uneasy. All these are happening. Why? How come a tree, which is one sensed situation wherein a tree grows well after a rain, but a human being falls sick? Why? Very simple answer I can give you is your body has unfavorable vibrations, unfavorable memories in your cells, and that in turn, of course, some goodness comes in, it pushes out all the unwanted things, it comes out, and definitely you will face a situation wherein you will have some issues. But in reality, if you drench in rain, you should not fall sick. This is the reality of the true nature. So every one of you become so healthy that you go drench in your rain, you should not fall sick. This is what we should be. That's the quality of nature. So when you are not having the original quality of nature, you of course have to face the other part of it, wherein you will fall sick, you will have more problems, you will get allergies, all this will be there. So we need to change. Now the same water what we were talking from the sea, now it has become rain, right? Now, what happens when the rain falls on the trees? It nourishes. It nourishes and makes the tree grow. So, what you and I learn from this particular rain, what we learn is we also should nourish every soul we meet in our life. This is a very, very important lesson I picked up when I was preparing this slide. It's a beautiful situation. You need to help other souls to grow. When other souls grow, what happens? Don't you feel nice when you see a fresh, beautiful plant growing and then so beautiful green? It's a eye, it's a I would say treat for the eye. Now, when that is happening in reality, don't you think that we as human beings, every one of us, when you see another person grow, don't you feel happy? We should. So what is happening? You should not envy another person when they are growing. It's none of our business. It's their growing. It's their journey. It's their working in their path of life. How do they earn is none of our business. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? Are you contributing? Now, you can be a contributor or you can be a destroyer. But I see most of the human beings things knowingly, we are destroying not only our own selves, we are destroying our fellow human beings, we are destroying the nature. This is invariably happening. Now, why is it happening? It's all happening because of our ignorance. The moment you come out of ignorance and arrogance, two things, huh? Ignorance and arrogance, there are a lot of beautiful lessons we will learn and we will start moving forward. And there are another two words which I always use to let know people that these are another two words which you will never grow. One is envy, another one is hatredness. These two situations when you have in life, you will never be able to move forward. So you should never envy. It will actually pull you down wherein you will not grow. And you can see there are thousands and thousands of human beings on this earth, fellow human beings, be it Malaysia or be it India or any other country. We are seeing people suffering. People are having issues with themselves. And not only people are creating problem for themselves, they are creating problem for the other people as well. Now, why do we need all this? In reality, if you see, do we need a gun to live on this planet Earth? Do we need a dagger to live on this earth? No, we don't need it. But can you see there are a lot of people who enjoy, especially in the recent times where you will be able to see how people are using the what is that, the air rifles, right from the machine guns, putting the bullets firing in the air and enjoying that they have got the freedom today. But in reality, do we need all this? Now, what we need to learn from nature is be like nature. Nature gives everything. Nature doesn't take anything from you. But if you think that nature is taking, it's not the nature taking, but it is a process of life wherein we all have to leave the planet Earth. Now, when you have to leave the planet Earth, either you leave your planet Earth without diseases, peacefully, when you're sleeping, you die. It's a very beautiful situation. How many of the people are dying like that? Not many. Now, there are other people get a chest pain and you will die. Some chest pain, you die. There are so many ways of people dying on this planet Earth. Now, whatever the mode of death, it doesn't matter. Now, how you're going to die, how I'm going to die, we don't know. but definitely we will leave this planet Earth. Now, during the process of living on this planet Earth, what are we going to pick up? This is what is we need to understand. Now, the same rainwater, what happens? If it falls onto the river, it gets collected in the river and moves down into the ocean. But if it falls on the Mother Earth, now it becomes a well water or a groundwater. It's the same thing changes. Now, for many centuries, we human beings have been using the groundwater for drinking purposes, right? Yes, we have been using this water for drinking purposes because it's the essence of life. Drinking water is an essence of life. Now, of course, we do use water for other purposes like cooking, washing, bathing. There are so many other purposes we use the water. But at the end of the day, can you believe the same seawater which evaporated, went up, came as rain, went into as a groundwater, and then now you as a human being, you have picked up this water and you're using it for a different purpose. Then they call it as a drinking water. The same seawater is not told as a drinking water. Now the drinking water changes. Now, as we are talking about the drinking water, the name changed from the normal seawater to a drinking water. Now, many of us should just picturize yourself. Many of us, if you're like the raindrop, would settle here on this planet Earth, just like a water settling in the ground, to be reborn again. What will happen? The same water molecule goes inside the earth, then probably comes the trees, picks up the water, then it grows, it starts giving fruits, and people, human beings use it. Now, many times, if you see in this life, the river by itself never drinks the water for its own benefit. Never. The sun never shines for its own self, for its own benefit. The rain doesn't come on its own self for it to make a rain wherein it uses the rain. Now, can you see the difference, the nature? It gives, only gives and gives, nothing else. It doesn't take anything. Even a tree, when you look at a mango tree, what happens? It grows so beautifully. At the end of the day, it gives us a fruit called mango. And what is that? Does the mango tree eats the mango? No, it doesn't eat. It's who we are. It's human beings, animals. They are eating that. But by eating that, what happens? The nutrition. You see, what happens is just a tree which takes the water from the ground and it grows, and there is a formation of a fruit called mango, and that mango. So at the end of the day, now what are we gaining? We get the nutrition of the mango, maybe in the form of vitamin nutrients. Yes, but at the end of the day, what do we use this energy for? Are we using the energy for something positive, something creative, something useful for other beings or the other living animals? It should be that way. We should always be useful for others. This is what we have to understand. The purpose of life is give. Giving is the most beautiful, I would say, the most beautiful experience a human being can have, because by giving you enjoy, by giving you feel the smile on the other person. Now, some people may join the sea through the river, some people may go there, but the cycle of birth and death, whether anybody believes it or not, it is there and it is happening. It's just the belief system of one person may believe in it or may not believe. But at the end of the day, millions of years, we human beings have been born, die, born and die, and born and die. Now, how many of you know that we do have 84,000 cycles of birth and death, which happens right from the one sense to the sixth sense? We are the sixth sense. So one sense is the plant. So we have been told that we have been born probably like a plant. In one life you would have been a plant, one life you would have been a fish, one life you would have been a four-legged animal, one life probably would have been a bird. But at the end of the day, we take different forms. It's different. What I'm trying to tell here is, just like water taking different forms and the name is different, we human beings also play a very different role in our journey of life, or in different journeys of life. Our designation will change, our forms will change. This birth you might be a man, and the next birth you might be a woman. We do not know, but that's the reality of life. We all have different forms, different roles to play. Saying that, whatever said and done, What's that? We all have to live life to the fullest. Pick the lessons we learn from our past, picking the and elevate to a higher. This is a very, very important. If I'm going to ask you from last week to this week, how much have you uplifted? You should be able to tell me, hey, doc, I have uplifted so much. You know, this is the information I have got. This is the information I have picked up. This is what I learned in the past 1 week. So for you, that is why you have been named as a human being. So for being, you need to be in that higher consciousness or an expanded consciousness. Now, for a human being, you must be humane. This is a very, very important quality every one of you must have. Human quality is giving in nature, is unconditional, it's lovable all the time. And he is there only to give and give and give, nothing else. As you all know, even Alexander, when he died, he put his hands outside his coffin, facing above, saying that even though I wanted to conquer the whole world, or I conquered the whole world, I am not carrying anything along with me when I'm going. Just this body, and that body also will be either burned and put into ash. Now, this is the reality of human beings. So when you know that the original nature of every one of us being human, let's start from this moment of life. Be a human. Let's do something in whatever little ways we can and move forward. Now bringing back the story to this water, what's happened? The same water today, we all know that it's called Terahertz water. Wow, this is something amazing. So the same water has taken a different form. Of course, we human beings have involved in it. We brought a technology, we brought in, and we changed. Now, why is that necessary? Because as we have been probably evolving in our journey of life, if you probably take maybe 5,000 years ago, what human beings, we were using some knives and daggers and, you know, all the arrows. All these was our instruments to, you know, protect ourselves or to kill another person. We were using all that. But today, what's happening? Today we are using a machine gun, soundproof guns we have, all in different. Why is that? Because we have evolved. In the same way, if you're looking at water, of course, our company was intelligent enough to bring this resonator so that can, of course, in the past 1 year, I would say that there are a lot of people who have been benefited by it. Maybe there are few people who didn't get the benefit, but they had some issues, probably because their body was not fit enough to accept this particular water, or maybe they didn't have the capacity to balance their metabolism after drinking this water. They went into some complication. Maybe 1 to 2% will be there. See, this is a step forward. That's what is a universal path of life. In the same way, if 100 patients have been given the same terahertz water, maybe 2 people will not suit it. Maybe 2 people don't even agree with that water. It can happen. But most of the time, it's how you prepare your mind to accept it or not is in your mindset. If your mindset is very positive and you're a very positive person, anything coming into your life is an experience. Be it terrace water, be it alkaline water, be it ionized water, be it hydrogen water. It doesn't matter. What will happen? It will be received. When you are destined to receive it, receive it. What is your problem? You have to accept it and then start moving forward. Now, for example, if you're supposed to be in that, you better be in that. That's it. Now, if you're supposed to share that information to other people in life, better share. This is what is alive. So the same water which was in the sea, today, if you're looking at the name of the water is Terahertz resonated water. It's a name change is already come. So what happens? What's so great about it? Definitely, there are some goodness in it. If you're looking at the well water, definitely the well water has all the nutrients which it picked up from the earth elements, right? From nutrients, it picked up everything, and then when it is pumped out in the form of borewell, you bring out in the form of a bucket from a well. What happens? The water has all the nutrients And when you drink it, it's amazingly very healthy water. Now those days, now what kind of water purification they had? They didn't have anything. Directly they will bring in. And in fact, in India, where from place where I lived actually, we never had any filtration system from the piped water we used to get from our municipality, wherein the water we take from the pipe, we'll put it in our container and drink it directly. We never had any filtration system because even the water supplying was so pure and clean. But today, in Malaysia, what is the color of water you get from your tap? It's just like a tea color or a brown color. So you need to have a proper filtration system before you even think of resonating the water. So your filtration system must do filter around 80 to 90% of the whatever the heavy metals or the bacteria, or now once that filtered get inside, you need to have one good filtered, maybe the 7-stage filtration system in your kitchen, wherein when you collect the water, it has to be there inside. Now, when you resonate that water, what happens is the molecular structure of the water breaks down. It's a very simple concept. When the molecular structure is broken down into a smaller molecule, for you to drink it's easier. It's just like when you're talking about small molecules, you push it inside, it goes inside. But the same huge molecule, or even a human being, if a huge person of around 120 kgs or 30 kgs wants to enter into a small 2 feet door, it's not possible. But whereas a thin person who is just 40 kgs, he can just pass into the same door more easily. In the same way, water molecule also, if it is smaller, the penetration is much easier. So in that way, the terahertz resonated water has got a smaller molecule. So the advantage is it can go inside very easily. But as you're making the water molecule smaller, in the same way as when you're making the matter, or for example, a protein powder into a nano molecule, it becomes a peptide. Peptide is a smaller molecule of a protein. Now, in the same way, now if you see, everybody are talking about peptides. Now, what is a big deal about peptide is, if you're taking a protein molecule, for example, the milk, it's a huge molecule of around 220 frequency. It's a huge, bigger molecule. Now, if the same molecule is smaller, it's more easier for you to, get inside. That is where, if the protein is a bigger molecule and when it passes through the kidneys it find it difficult to filter it and throw it out. And then what happens when there is a blocking of your kidney nephrons, which is the filtration system in your body, what happens? Your kidney starts failing, because too many kidneys will lead to a kidney failure. Now, once it's blocked, just visualize, once it's blocked, how are you going to clean it? That's why once the kidney failure starts, it's little difficult for you to recoup it back. But by divine grace, we all have two kidneys, wherein it's easy for us. Even when one kidney fails, you can use the other kidney. But now, why should the kidney fail? It should be in the right but many of us don't even know, because we are just living our life so busy with into our materialistic world, looking for promotions, looking for earning money, looking for other things in life. And finally, we don't even know that our body is so important that we need to take care of ourselves. So when you need to take care of ourselves, drinking water plays a very important role in your life. How many of you are drinking a sufficient amount of water? It's only a handful of people who are drinking sufficient amount of. But when you look at the majority of the people, around 70 to 80% of the people are having dehydration. Now, dehydration is, of course, you don't have water to drink is a different ballgame. But when you have water to drink, that to clean drinking water, why aren't you drinking? Now, why we aren't drinking is because we are so occupied in the other part of our life, we forget. But what is the point? From 30 years to 50 years, you're slogging like a donkey, doing all the donkey's job for anybody, for some other person, and make him rich. But finally, you don't drink water, and you're far past the 20 years and 50 years, suddenly your urine comes down and you go to a doctor and he says, hey, you already have a kidney failure. Now, what are you going to do? He will only advise you to go for a dialysis. That's it. Now, once you're in a dialysis, every other person on this planet Earth, once you're in a dialysis, you want to get back to normal. Yes, it is possible. But we do not know how much your kidney went to one particular Ayurvedic doctor or a homeopathy doctor or you went somewhere, some miracle happened, your kidneys recouped back, your creatinine level came back. No, how many of go for dialysis? How many times? 3-time dialysis. Now I have one of my patients who has been on dialysis, but weekly once. Can you believe this particular person is on a weekly once dialysis program? But other than that, he has been doing the kidneys to the liver, to the intestine with all the supportive supplements. Now, what happened? When I give all this whole system becomes more healthy. So when your whole system more healthy, I can maybe probably share the photograph of this particular person after taking a permission. She looks so healthy, Nobody will tell that she is going for a dialysis. She is very healthy. And every time I ask, even yesterday I spoke to her husband, asked him, hey, how is your wife? He said, very good, doctor. She looks very healthy and she's very happy. Now, this is what we need to understand, that by drinking sufficient amount of water, you will be able to help your kidneys, able to hydrate yourselves. So saying that there are a lot of features which I've been repeatedly telling, it is there. So what you need to do is drink sufficient amount of water. It will help you to hydrate and it will help you in a form of nutrition. So drinking water should be for being healthy. For living on this planet Earth, we need to drink water. So drink water to become healthy, and it is the essence of life. Now, by drinking water, what are the benefits? You can have a better healthy cells, better absorption of nutrients, control of diseases, detox naturally. You can be maybe you are a person from you had some diseases, you become cleared, and then you are into wellness. So it is wellness. Now, even in the wellness, when you see there is a WEV, that means it's joined together. But illness, when you see there is a I, that means I is mostly ego, whereas we is basically we combine together, we grow together. At the end of the day, when you're drinking this Terahertz resonated water, you will have high energy. When there are high energy in the cells, of course, there are a lot of good benefits. Maybe out there are a lot of people. Even yesterday, when I was talking to Frankie, he was giving me a lot of testimonies, which I think Eddie is getting. I'm also getting a lot of positive information from people where they are getting healed. I would say healed. Curing is another form of healing wherein you come out of a disease. So you might get the benefit of controlled diabetes or reverse diabetes. Your blood pressure might be reversed. Heart issues might be, reversed. You have been going for 3 weeks dialysis. After drinking this water, maybe you will get probably 1 time or 2 times. But all depends on your cellular health. If your cellular health, you have invested time in the past with good health, definitely you'll be able to recoup back. And your toxin levels can come down. There are a lot of benefits, but at the end of the day, it is all individual human experiences. So who will get the benefit after drinking Terahertz water? We do not know. Definitely there is a benefit, but I feel when you're positive, when your approach to life is positive, everything starts falling in place. So what is the lesson you all learn from this journey of life and water is we do learn many lessons as we walk. We have to learn lessons, but our human path, water teaches us many dimensions, many forms of life. Saying that, I think today's message, I think every one of you would be able to pick up that the message from the water is it converts itself into different forms, different dimensions. But at the end of the day, it becomes beneficial for others as it changes the form, like rainwater. It changes its form to a rainwater. It helps the plants to grow. Like that, what happens is particular situation. So right now in this COVID situation, what you and I can do is be calm and do not read or do not social media to see how many people are dying, how many people is increasing. I don't even know how many, what was my business, and I'm not going to do anything. What happens? How can I take care of myself? Whoever sees me, if I can give them the right guidance and then they can pick up the information to move forward, is the best thing every one of you can do. So what happens? This particular rip is rip everywhere. It is getting ripped. Now, you and I would have seen this. Someone passed away. What do? In a WhatsApp, we say rip. We don't even have the patience to, write the word rest in peace. Now, how busy are you? If you're so busy, why do you have to even put the rip? Nobody is going to ask you, should you put the word rip or not? Even the dead soul will not ask you, hello, boss, please do something for me. Please, you have to tell me rest in peace. Then only I will rest in peace. No. Then what are you doing? So what is my message to you all is, before you get ripped, you better learn the lessons of life. You cannot avoid it. Now be alert always. Be alert. Take all the precautions. Today, as you know very well, COVID is spreading. Yes, it is spreading. Now, whether you're going to get infected, be a student all through your life. This is a very simplest thing. Be a student, be humble, be down to earth, be a simple human being. Everything falls in place. Now, you will take many forms just like the water. Play your role, whatever the role is. Today, if you have picked up the Terahertz water and you are donating it and then you are giving it to people, yes, do it. But your aim is to help people to heal themselves. That should be aim. You don't become a doctor to give the water and tell that this disease got healed or this disease got cured. It's none of your business, because at the end of the day, that person, of course, they will give the water for them to live on planet Earth for existence. We are not going to give water for their curing, because it's none of our job. Because the moment you say curing or the disease gets cured, they are going to catch you and they are going to ask you, boss, you told me this, but nothing happened to me. I'm drinking for the water for the past 6 months, nothing happened. This is a situation you will face. So better be alert. And what you need to do is, finally, definitely, I do not know, or we do not know. Just like water, the water never thought that it went up to the cloud, became condensed, it came down. It never knew that it will go inside the earth and then settle down in the earth. It never thought. There are someone which never thought that it will flow in the river, and never some would have thought that it will be the drinking water for some human beings and some animals. It never thought. So at the end of the day, what is happening is, today we all have gathered here at this Terahertz platform. I think you should say million thanks to all who were instrumental, right from George to the other, our company people who brought this particular instrument and this particular technology, even the Zoom. If the Zoom company did not bring this Zoom technology to us, today you and I wouldn't be seeing each other and listening to this talk. So saying that, this has been a wonderful week, and water has been a fantastic example, parable. Parable is basically a moral, what you pick up from that story. So water parable has been a fantastic, it really stimulated my brain, and very, very beautifully I picked up a lot of information. I should thank every one of you. Because of you, today I prepared this parable of water, and I picked up so much of information. From morning I've been preparing the slides, and I picked up a lot of it. So thank you very much. And saying that, every one of you are a beautiful, awesome soul and a divine soul. Like a water, you do your job in whatever you are a giver. And I think let's all live a healthy, stay safe until I come back and see you next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you very much.